is John Ward, welcoming you to another presentation of Tennessee football on home video. The story you're about to see unfold is one of adventure and achievement. It's the story of teamwork, commitment, and the will to win.
Doesn't need a lot of... Oh! He took a weapon!
Welcome back to the Blue Chip Breakdown, Vols fans. Appreciate y'all joining us. Started was a little bit late. You know how it is. It's football season, and we got to kind of rush from the end of a game to get in here and get everything set up and started up for this stream. But third Saturday in October, man. 12 months since we took it to those guys.
Oh, yeah.
Up in Neyland.
Time coming.
Oh, man, that was a heck of a game, and I think we're going to probably see another good one today.
I think so.
I don't know, P. I mean, how you feeling?
I think it's gonna be another good game, man. I've been hearing a lot of chatter about being a low scoring game. I think it will be, but you know what? I think that we'll score more than people think. I think people think it'll be like last week. We scored 10, 13 points offensively, but I got a feeling we're gonna put up 30-something points today.
Yeah, I think so too. I just feel like the offense is definitely due. Especially in that vertical passing game. Milton's got to get it back going. Keaton for sure has got to step up. Squirrel White is from Alabama. Expect for him to have a really big game today. Yeah. Chaz, he's from Arkansas. That's right in that area. And where's Keaton from? I think Keaton might be from
Marietta.
Oh,
he played with
no,
Bailey in Marietta.
Not Keaton. Webb.
He's from Georgia too.
He is from Georgia.
He's from Georgia too.
Okay. All right. Well, hey, so everybody's really close to home, So I would anticipate that those guys should come out trying to prove a point and. I think that running game is going to be really dominant today.
I think it will. I think it will be there, man. That run game, we talked about last week against A&M. I think that's probably the best, definitely the best defensive front we'll see all season. Probably the best run defense we'll see all season. Yeah. And when you look at Bama, we were talking about this before the pod. Who rushed for the most yards against those guys? South Florida. I wonder who their OC was. Oh, yeah, that's right. It's Alex Golesh. He runs the same offense we do. You spread these guys out, you run at them. He went for 177 on those guys. And so that gives me a lot of confidence that we'll be able to do a similar thing and get around that 200 mark, maybe more.
Yeah.
Bama, they obviously have the talent. They've shown the flashes that they can be a really, really good team. But just overall, what you see from snap to snap on a consistent basis is that's a team that I think we can attack those guys. We can expose them.
Yeah.
And we can have success against those guys. I think we'll have a big day offensively.
Yeah, man. I'm really, really looking forward to this. It seems like everybody is picking us not only to lose, but to kind of get killed.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to be able to double back around and put that right in people's faces.
Me too.
So we've got Lifted Life is he's in the chat bright and early. He said, "Are you late?" Yes, we was late. Thank you for staying here with us. Stingray says, "Go Big Orange." Lifted Life has his score prediction: Vols 21, Alabama 13. Go Big Orange. Ben Gaylor says, "Let's go Bull. Let's go Ben. Let's go Vol Nation. Let's get it."
Let's get it, baby.
James Shrum is great to be a Tennessee Vol. Yes, sir. And we're going to be chanting that all night long. Alicia D says, "A little surprising that nobody picked Tennessee from Game Day or SEC Nation. Let's prove them wrong." Absolutely.
Yeah. Dang right.
And then D says, "What's up, Bull P? Let's barbecue some gumps today." You already know. Hey, I'm absolutely loving all the energy inside of the chat already. Y'all picked it up for
This is going to be a big time game. I've been talking about this all week. This is going to be the most intense version of this rivalry we've seen in a while. And I think, it obviously has to do with us beating them last season. But when you look at this team, the makeup, just the attitude they play with, we got some dogs on that roster, especially on defense, on offense too. We got dogs all over the place, and we're going to be chomping at the bit. We're going to be chippy. Don't be surprised if there's some 15-yarders, a lot of kind of post snap, extracurricular going on. It's going to be a hard hitting game. This is by far the game of the day, in my opinion. I can't wait.
Yeah, so actually, we wanted to get into the picks for this Penn State versus Ohio State game.
Yeah,
and it's already about an hour into that game now. But do you want to go ahead and kind of divulge who you want to pick on that one? We can actually kind of jump into the screen real quick and just do that pick, get that out of the way.
Yeah.
And then we can get back to this ball talk, because that's really all that matters.
Yeah, there's a score up right there. I don't know what the score is that game now. I know it was 3-0. I don't know if Ohio State got the ball first or Penn State got the ball first, but I know Ohio State went down, got a field goal on their opening offensive drive.
Yeah.
3-0. To me, that's a win for Penn State. I think, Penn State kind of everybody knows the first drive of the game offensively. It's going to be your best, not necessarily your best drive, but it's going to be scripted.
Yeah.
It should be successful.
Right.
And the fact that Penn State held strong, held them to a field goal on that first drive, to me, I'm liking Penn State in that one.
We have to see if Penn State can pick up some type of offense.
Yeah.
So the game is in Ohio, and the Buckeyes are favored by 5. The over/under is 46. So
yeah,
I know it's kind of already started.
Yeah, I honestly haven't seen a ton of Penn State this season. I've heard a lot of great things about him. Obviously, James Franklin's my coach at Vandy, so I know he's gonna have a guy. He's a guy that's gonna have ready to play in this game. They're gonna definitely do well on defense. I don't know about the offense necessarily. He typically doesn't score a ton of points. So I may want to go to under, but I think both teams will be in the
46 points is that's low. That's pretty low. Like that's actually lower than our points for. I mean,
it's not gonna be that low of a game. I mean, I could see this being a 30.
I think it will be
a 30 to 27 type game, something like that.
All right.
I got Penn State and I got the over on that one.
All right, so for me, I'm going to go with Penn State as well. I'm just going to support Coach Franklin for sure. But one thing that I will say is that offense, he needs to kind of update that offense some. That's the only thing that I will say. It's kind of an old school, type of an offense, and it just doesn't seem like they can get a whole lot of stuff going. It also seems like it's not very quarterback friendly. I mean, if you look at some of the route combinations and stuff, it's like the quarterback's having to throw into some like really overwhelming, like tight windows. You know what I mean? It's like a lot of people kind of stacked up into the same spot.
Yeah.
Anyway, I haven't seen a whole lot of Penn State play, but from what I have seen, I mean, it's typical Big Ten ball. Both of those teams are kind of like boring, offense, defense, special teams. Not a whole lot of speed. I will say that the Buckeyes offense does look a little bit, I guess, more explosive. But at the end of the day, I think I'm going to have to go with Penn State. I'm going to go with Penn State, and I'm going to pick the under on it. I've got Penn State winning by 3. I'm going to say 24 to 21. 24 to 21. All right, so with all that being said, now we can get back to these balls. Let me take a look at some of these chats and see what everyone's talking about. Let's see here. Ben Galen says 3rd Saturday in October always is finally what it should be after 15 years of misery. Absolutely.
Yes,
I was just thinking that, man.
Right.
Like as I was pulling back up, I was like, dang, for about half of my life, Tennessee has lost this game.
I know.
You know what I'm saying? Which is crazy because it just doesn't seem so.
It doesn't seem like it.
Yeah, it just seems like growing up, like this was a game that I know for the older guys, like for the older people, for the older fans, this game is such a big deal.
Yeah.
But it was never a huge deal for me. It wasn't like Florida. It wasn't like Georgia.
Right.
Maybe that's also because we grew up in Georgia. I don't know. It just was never some like big, huge deal. But now that we've been losing to them and now that, we kind of came back and started to win again last season, I think that we're going to start our own streak. It is kind of starting to get me back fired up. You know what I mean? Man. Listen to all these fans and stuff chirping and everyone basically saying that we're about to go out here and get blown out. It's getting me fired up.
Yeah, I'm ready to go, man. I'm ready to go, man. Like this is a game for me, man. Like just like you, like I didn't really have that hatred towards Bama that a lot of Tennessee fans have. Honestly, just being honest, and maybe because I'm not sure how the series has gone, but I feels like when I was a little kid, we used to beat those guys pretty consistently.
Yeah, like we beat them for a very long time, and then they started beating us. I think I think it was after Saban's first year. We beat them. Saban's first year.
I don't know if we ever beat him. I don't know. I think Saban's was undefeated against us. I think he was undefeated.
I don't know why. I feel like we had beat him Saban's first season, but maybe I'm wrong.
I think we were supposed to. I feel like they were pretty bad the year before.
Okay.
Obviously, new coach.
Yeah. And
then went out there and got upset by him. His first season, 15 years in a row, he's beat us. And that when I first, I didn't realize that till last season. That had been 15 years in a row, and that's what really pissed me off and really got me, having that hatred towards these guys. Like, I mean, 15 years in a freaking row.
Yeah.
I mean, that pissed me off. Guys have been saving cigars 15 years, haven't got to smoke them. Well, we got to light one last season. We're going to light another one tonight.
Yeah.
We're going to take it to those guys in Tuscaloosa. Like you said, get our own streak going. Let's see if we can put our own 15 on the board in those guys.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely feel like we can. Something that you talked about earlier, Pete, for those of you in the chat who may not have heard this, South Florida, who's coached by Alex Golesh, is rushed for the most yards on Alabama. So, that obviously they run the same system that Tennessee runs now. And spreading any defense out, if you've got any kind of a running game, any kind of an offensive line, it really makes it easy to, be able to find those creases and get some yardage. Now, on the flip side of that coin, it could mean that Alabama is more prepared for this game because they've already seen a similar offense. Pretty much the same offense, but it's not going to be the same caliber of talent out there on the field. I just feel like, especially with Cooper Mays in that offensive line, he is such a dog, and just listening to him in any sort of a YouTube video or, Instagram, social media, whatever he's speaking on this entire week, he just sounds so confident. Everyone sounds confident, and hopefully Mincy can play today. That offensive line, I feel like, is just going to come out and really want to impose their will physically.
I think so.
Something else, too, if Mincy is out, Dane Davis looked really good as a backup last week at right tackle. So
he did. I
think we're going to be fine.
Now. Dane looked solid. He looked solid when he came in. I think it's a different story whenever you're playing the full game. I think that's definitely different. But I feel confident as well. I think Heupel's put up good numbers against Saban 2 years in a row, going back to 2021. And then, when you go back to the Hugh Freeze at Ole Miss era, I feel like there's certain coaches, certain schemes that this Saban, for whatever reason, can't quite figure out. No matter how many times he sees it, he just can't quite figure it out. And I feel like whatever Heupel's doing is similar. Like, we're going to have success. Guys will be open. Plays will be there. The guys go out there and execute. I think the way our running backs are running the ball right now, they're really starting to set up their blocks better.
They're doing a beautiful job.
They're doing a great job of that. They're getting yards. It just kind of reminds me of, how I feel when I run the ball. Like, I feel like if I get the ball, like, I'm going to make something happen. You know what I mean? And these backs are starting to kind of really start to kind of, whatever the word is, they're starting to utilize that or whatever. Yeah,
man. They're playing with so much confidence, man. It's so much swag coming out of that backfield. Really from that entire offense outside of what feels like Milton and the wide receiver room. But like I said, I feel like they pick it up in this game. I think that they're going to get a lot of opportunities. Back to your point, too, about why Saban has trouble with this offense. I think that it's that three-man line, that he loves to play. It can work well, in passing situations, but in running situations, when teams spread you out, like, you get spread too thin. And there's just too many creases, and it's almost impossible for a defense like that to be able to cover everything. So, this is probably going to be a situation where Saban's about to learn something. You know what I mean? And he might come out, if he continues coaching next season, with the four-man line against teams like this. But that's what I meant when I said, I think on one of the other videos or something, that Heupel really has Saban's number.
I think he does.
And I don't think people realize that.
I think he does. But that's a great point. Great point you made earlier about him playing South Florida. I'm sure they looked at that film, 177 yards. They don't want to give that up against South Florida on the ground. So what adjustments does he make? Like you said, does he come out with a four-man front? Does he completely kind of give him a new look?
He could.
Maybe. But I still feel confident. I think Joe Milton, he didn't play great last week, and it wasn't all on him, receivers as well. But what really got me excited about Joe Milton last week, when he trucks their middle linebacker, put him out for the game. He's in concussion protocol, okay? And he, we saw the energy after that. He's talking smack. He's getting in the guys' faces. And he did it again later on in the game, trucks another guy and is, getting up, fired up about it. To me, and we'll see this, this game, but I think that was kind of the catalyst getting him going. I think that was the spark he needed. Now he knows, hey, you know what? I am a big, strong, physical guy. I can run these guys over. And I think the team fed off that as well. And expect him to be using the run game today and, maybe go for 50-plus yards on the ground.
I do too. Did you hear that story? It was Joe Milton. He was on a podcast with Big O and a softball player named Raleigh West for Tennessee. But they had kind of asked him about that play and, like, leading up to it. And Milton basically said that 45 was chirping at him. So Milton told 45 that he was about to come see him.
Nice.
So, on that play, whenever he started to scramble and, run and stuff, he was looking for him. And then he, gives him that strike. But
nice. Love that.
Yeah. And hopefully he can, hopefully he does realize that he can do that on a more consistent basis, because we're going to need his legs. We're going to need him to make plays with his legs, not only in the running game, but to extend some plays and to hit some people wide open down the field, because we're definitely going to have him. I can promise you that. Alabama's going to feel some type of a way about how everyone's talking about Tennessee's, offense, rushing attack, talking about how bad their offensive line is. Up front, those guys are going to come out trying to prove a point. And whenever they see run, I think that they're going to creep up really hard. We'll have a good chance to be able to play action and hit them, especially early on in this game. Milton's just got to be on point. He just has to be on point. I don't think he has to play he doesn't have to have 300 yards. Now, I don't think even 300 yards total. Yeah. But if he can get about 250 total awesome. With no turnovers and maybe 1 or 2 touchdowns, Tennessee wins this game.
I think so. The kind of the weird thing about that is, I mean, Saban doesn't lose very much, but it seems like every time he loses, the quarterback does have a good game. Like you look at Texas, I think the guy went for 350, 3 touchdowns.
Yeah.
But I think the way this team is built, we're probably the best run, like rushing attack that they faced. That actually has a real shot to beat them. Because we do have the potential to hit those big plays, and we do have potential to extend. But we're talking about this earlier. Milton, the most yards he threw for in any game this season was Florida. Went for 287, 34 for 20, 287, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. I mean, that stat line's not terrible. It's not a terrible stat line. But people keep saying we need more from Milton, Well, every other game he's like 220 or less.
Yeah.
And, we've done better in those games. So I don't know if he has to have, like you said, the big 300-yard game.
Yeah.
But he does need to not have any turnovers, right. Be able to convert on third downs, hit those key passes. And when guys are open, you got to be able to hit them. In which I feel like he's done a pretty solid job of that, but we got to be able to hit him and make the catch. Both ends of the pass have to be on the same page for us to win this game.
For sure. I mean, guys definitely have to step up. And you know what? Something that someone had brought up in the comment section, I think it was yesterday, they were saying that, Tennessee might actually do better kind of controlling that clock more. I definitely think that the slower tempo has helped this defense out significantly. I don't think that it's by chance that we're going at a slower clip, and the defense is actually playing a lot better. Now, obviously, there's a whole lot of other factors involved with that, too. I think some of these guys are really, stepping up and coming into their own, so to speak, as players and playmakers.
Absolutely.
But, I like this. I think that, and then also I love that Josh Heupel has learned how to win like this. Has learned how to win more of these like gritty games. Yeah. So I'm really loving it. I know that he's gonna have a great game plan, and let's try to just keep Alabama off the field as much as possible. Unless we are scoring, you know what I mean? Like if we're scoring, then let's keep on scoring, run it up on.
Might be, we might.
I want to put up 50 again on these dudes.
Yeah. Nobody thinks we can do it. Let's do it to them again. In their backyard, and that's the other part of this game is on the road. We haven't been great on the road. But I mean, you go back to South Carolina game last year. Obviously, played terrible defensively. Yeah. But offensively, we still put up numbers, put up yards. So I think our defense is better now. I don't think that being on the road really impacts the defense a ton. So we should be able to hold our own defensively. We just got to be able to move the ball offensively. But I think that's probably the matchup of the game that I favor us much more than their side is our defense versus their offense. I think. Oh yeah. I think we'll be able to get after Milroe. I don't think we'll have time to throw. I mean, they're giving up however many sacks a game.
It's like 4.4 sacks a game.
Sheesh. And I think we're averaging about that per game. You know what I mean? So
averaging 4 sacks a game.
So we're gonna get after the passer. I don't think we'll have time to throw. Those deep shots he's been hitting, I don't know if he'll have time to get him off, man. Their left tackle, Caden Proctor, 5-star guy, 6'8", 360, wherever he is.
Boy, he's struggling.
I mean, we're gonna eat him alive, I think.
I'm gonna tell you something else too, is that their offensive line is like, I think they average like 350 or something like that. Huge. It's something that, and I mean, they're big and they're slow.
Big and slow.
Our inside of our defense, our tackles, those guys are fast. They're quick twitch. We're quick twitch across the board. Yes. And then they're also strong. I'm telling you, we match up.
We do.
We match up better with them than even I think the paper shows. We match up very well with them. So I mean, I really expect us to have a lot of success. Now, the question is going to be in that deep passing game, because like you said, Milroe, he throws really good deep passes and he loves to throw them. They've got some good wide receivers, some guys that are dogs that will go out and make plays. And I don't trust Gabe Jeudy-Lally more than 10 yards down that field anyway. And I've said that from Jump Street. I would rather just have him in a permanent, permanent squat corner deal, because he really can't cover down the field. And I think that he was, if you look at all of the plays that A&M had against us last week passing, they were pretty much all on him. You know what I'm saying? So I think that they're going to be targeting him pretty heavily. Yeah. He's going to need some type of safety help or something. They're going to go at him, and then they're going to go at T-Mac. Yeah, because those have been the two guys who've given up the most passes.
I mean, last week, that's the thing. We haven't really seen anybody throw deep on us all season. Besides last week, A&M hit at least 2, maybe 3 deep balls. I can remember at least 2 of them on T-Mac. He was in great position. The guy just went, made a play. I mean, that guy he was covering was 6'6", but, he made a play. So that is going to be something we'll find out today, because Bama will attempt those deep shots. That's what they do the best.
Yeah.
And so, moment of truth is what we call it. When the ball's in the air, ball gets to the receiver, moment of truth. Do you make a play on it or not?
Mm-hmm.
We're going to find out if we can make a play. I think that's going to also kind of tell the tape for tonight. But I mean, heck, if Gabe Judy ain't getting it done, I mean, we got Nico Slaughter, I think, is ready to go.
I mean, we've got guys, and I feel confident in that back, and I feel confident in that defense, period. Also, I mean, they'll probably be able to scheme up a couple of deep balls, but for the most part, if they try to go deep, we're going to be able to get pressure on them. We saw Arkansas, getting pressure on their 5 to 7 step drops. And, last week up against A&M and pretty much throughout this entire season, we've gotten pressure on 3-step drops, rushing 4. Yeah. Now, it's not always just our front 4, and that's something that I absolutely love. And Saban, in one of his press conferences or, whatever, talking to the media, he kind of was talking about that. I actually kind of like this clip from Saban, and I'm not going to, boost him up because obviously we're playing against them today. But one of his callers, or one of the fans, called in and basically was asking about the offensive line woes, and Saban kind of like let the guy talk, and then he kind of goes into talking about how different teams' schemes can throw off the chemistry of an offensive line. But he pretty much described what we do to a T. So they know what we want to do. The question is, are their players capable enough with the speed that we have up front to be able to stop it?
Yeah.
And I just don't think that they are.
I don't think they are. Something I was thinking about a couple days ago is, what's Bama's scheme going to be offensively? And I don't be surprised if we see at least early on some rollout plays with Milroe.
Oh, yeah.
Get him out of the pocket, kind of give him that run pass option, just to kind of move the pocket, moving away from Proctor, from that left tackle, moving. But, they move away from him. James Pierce usually on the defense's left. So they're going to move into James Pierce, which could play in his favor. But I'm not surprised if they're rolling him out of the pocket and basically saying, hey, half field read. If it's not there, take off. Yeah. Because that's still, to me, what scares me most. Anytime I play a mobile quarterback, especially one like Milroe, is him, because we saw it against Ole Miss a couple years ago. We've seen it several times, this team is, we lock everything down, we do a great job, but then the quarterback extends the play, either completes a pass or scrambles and gets the first down on 3rd and 5 or something like that. So that's going to be huge. Can we contain? We have to contain. Yeah, that's going to be one of the biggest things, and that can also, that can help to slow down the team's pass rush as well. But I mean, we've got to stay in our passing lanes. How much do you think? How much truth, or how much weight do you hold in people saying that Milroe's got a pulled hamstring? Do you see any truth to that just from watching the film here lately? Maybe. I feel like the past couple of games he hasn't ran as much. Yeah. You know what I mean? So there could be some truth to that, which, obviously plays into our favor. But, I feel like at the end of the day, when you're out there playing, I mean, that adrenaline gets going. Heck, you could have a daggone broken ankle and wouldn't notice it for a couple plays. You know what I mean? Like, sure. You know what I mean? So, I mean, I think it is a factor. Maybe that, that may limit some of the play calling, the design QB runs. But at the end of the day, if he's got to get out of the pocket and go make a play, he'll try to go do it. You know what I mean? So, yeah, we'll see. Yeah. And then, obviously, defensive backs, our entire secondary has got to stay in coverage, even if he's scrambling. You know what I mean? Like, we've got to at least do that. Stay deep. Yeah. And I feel like we are so ready for this game. And just from everybody who I've heard talk, there's been clips, and I've talked to some people in the comments about this too, where the players are like literally, well, like let's just say, maybe like if like you're picking up your drink, I'm picking up mine, and it's like they do it at the exact same time, like their entire movements is in sync. They're in lockstep. Like they're in lockstep, and I was telling one team, one heartbeat. That's hype.
One team, one heartbeat. That's it. So. And I've seen that on championship teams so often. Like anytime that you see these guys on the field, on the sidelines, off the field, any of that, it's like they're so just like locked in that you see things like that. So, I'm seeing a lot of positive things with these guys throughout this week, and I'm excited, man. How much time is? Dang, we still got 2 more hours. We got 2.5 more hours to kick off.
Man, it's gonna be long. Yeah, gonna try to maybe give me a nap or something. Maybe watch this Penn State game.
I'm not gonna be able to sleep. I barely slept last night.
Me too, man. I'm super excited, man. I just hope we come out here and just play up to what we're capable of doing. Don't go out here and have your road woes. You know what I mean? Because the way we play against Florida, we'll lose to anybody like that. You know what I mean? Yeah. But if we just play our game, we can beat anybody. And I truly believe we match up like you've been saying this whole time. We match up very, very well with these guys. We just got to limit the big plays, contain Milroe, and then, keep the chains moving on third down when we're forced to pass, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Joe, hit the guy, and whoever the receiver is, get open, make the catch. O-line, protect. Just play fundamental football, and we'll be perfectly fine. But I mean, I got a feeling that Duvall's role in this one. I mean, I think it may be a multi-score game, and I don't think Bama will be able to keep up with us.
Yeah, well, that's the thing is that a lot of times, especially in games like this, you can kind of tend to get over your head some, but but even still, from looking at film, it's like once I started, I just got like excited, and I was like, okay, well, let me watch some more, and I'm seeing little matchups and stuff, and I'm like, man, we should be able to win here,
yeah.
And you can have all the things drawn up how you want to, and I know that our coaching staff on offense, defense, special teams is going to have a great game plan going into this thing, because I know that they're seeing a lot of the same things that we're seeing. And obviously even more that we aren't.
Right.
So they're going to have it down to a T, to a science. The question is, will the players perform? It's up to the players to go out and execute. And, that's my biggest hold. That's the only thing that's kind of holding me back. But if we go out and play how we're capable of playing, and I would say if we just get to 85% of what we're capable of as a team, we'll win this game, Pete, like you said, by multiple scores.
Yeah.
All we need is 85% of our best for 60 minutes, and we are going to be the better team, even in Tuscaloosa. Now, everyone has been talking about this, and I do want to bring this up. Pre-snap penalties. I've seen a lot of people in the comment section talking about pre-snap penalties. What do you think we're going to do to be able to, offset some of that? Because obviously in a hostile place, it's going to start off hostile, but Alabama's fans are not. I mean, they're not like ours. It's not like most of the SEC.
I don't know, man. Having Cooper hopefully will help. He wasn't there when we went on the road earlier this season again to the Swamp, so hopefully he'll be there. But I don't know. I mean, typically, you'll see teams have the right guard or whatever, kind of looking back at the quarterback when he's giving the sign he's ready. He'll tap the center's hip, and we're going off that. But I think as O linemen, I'm not really sure how they're coached. If they're coached to watch the ball, like I know receivers were coached to watch the ball.
Too, yeah.
So I'm not sure what they're because if you can't hear, then what are you going off of?
Right.
You know what I mean,
I think it's like a timing thing.
It's a timing, yeah. So.
I think that's what it's supposed to be. But I would just think that would be something that would be easy for the defense to pick up on. Like I would say, it wouldn't even take very long. Maybe like a series, maybe 2 or 3.
Yeah.
I mean, you're gonna start to get that cadence, and maybe they switch it up every now and then just to kind of keep them honest. But yeah, I mean, I think that's an interesting point. It's something that I've been thinking about throughout this entire week. We probably should have tried to reach out to somebody and seeing how the offensive line does that.
Yeah, how they communicate across the line. But we hopefully we have a good plan in place. I know Heupel's very well aware, that we've had an issue on the road, so I'm sure he's done something. We'll kind of see what it is. But I mean, I think having Cooper in there would definitely help. And guys have got to hold their water. Yeah. Because, it's tough as, if you're – I'm just thinking about Mincy for some reason, playing right tackle. You're looking in at the ball. You see it snap, but then you got to look and watch this guy come off the edge. Like, that's probably really hard. That's the same thing I was thinking. And then Alabama brings blitzes late. So especially, like, if they go to that 3-3-5, if it's like a 3rd and long or if it's an obvious passing situation, they'll kind of move some guys around. They pretty much always start off too high, and then you'll see almost right at the snap, they'll switch to that 1 high. They're almost always going to be in 1 high versus us today. If we ever see 2 high, I mean, we should it should be a 20 to 30. I mean, we should be downhill right now. We're running it at you, dude. Don't you dare try to go too high on us. You can't do that to us this season. Yeah, but so anyway, I was saying all that just to say I do think that it will be really difficult for them to, especially, from tackle, to be able to look out. The tackle's going to be a little bit behind the other offensive linemen anyway. So I don't know how they go off of that. I know that they do have something in place. I just hope that it's something that's as rock solid as can possibly be. Yeah. Because the last thing that I want to see is us coming out on these first few drives and having a whole bunch of false starts, pre-snap penalties. Let's get this thing going, dude. Yeah. We got to settle into the game. It's going to be an emotional game. It's going to be a highly, highly charged game, especially early on. But as we know, the game always settles down. Settle into the game. Kind of weather the storm if there is one, because they're going to come out fired up. Obviously, rematch. Revenge game, as they've been calling it, whatever it is, home field advantage. They're going to come out fired up. They're going, try to get some things going early. We got to kind of weather that initial storm and you know, kind of hold our own. But I think we come out and hop out on these guys early. I think we come out. Hypo has a good opening series for us. We go out, put up 7, get a stop on defense, and then you know they're gonna punt it to us. We're gonna take it to the house. D1 gonna take it to the house. We'll have a 14-0 lead. Now, how do we play the game? And you know, what Hypo say when he first took the job? We're gonna play aggressive, and we've seen that from him. People talk about that. You know, that fourth down against Virginia.
That 4th and 6. Oh, okay.
I'm talking on our own 29-yard line.
Oh, okay.
Start the season. Hey, me and you, we love that call.
Yeah.
You know, we didn't get it, but we love that type of aggressiveness. He's an aggressive coach. He wants his players to play that way, and he coaches that way. And so I think when we get this big lead to start the game, we're going to keep on playing like we're 0-0.
For sure. Yeah. Oh, for sure. Yeah. I most definitely hope so. Now, I do think if you look at like last week, that 4th and 7 where we didn't get it, you know, we could have got 3 out of that, or you know, at least tried for 3 in that situation. I know that he talked about that after the game, and that sounds like something he doesn't want to necessarily do moving forward. And I mean, you know, if Milton just if he would just do those little things, and it's like he's just so close to being so special. If he just does those little things right, then I know that Hypo would have more confidence in this offense, because it's really hard to be able to convert those types of situations when, you know, you've got a quarterback that's not making plays for you. You know, it's going to be really hard to run on folks. But, yeah, I mean, because he can scheme it up. But so, anyway, I think that until he gets that confidence in Milton anywhere near what he had in Hendon last season, we're not going to see him going for too many more of those types of 4th and 7 crazy situations. I agree. You know, I mean, you have to just make sure that you put your team in the best position to put up points. But I do think, you know, again, today we are going to score points. I also wanted to bring this one up right here. So I had put this one up. I'm going to bring it back up. This is from Darren Weaver. He says, I'd like to see some screens to Wright or Sampson. So we haven't seen a whole lot of that this season. You know, we've seen some dump offs out of the backfield, you know, kind of screen-esque. Mostly like our screenplays are more out wide. But I mean, how do you think that would fit into this game, P? Do you think that's something that would work?
I think it'd be there, especially with the way we ran the ball. You know, you may catch them in maybe some run blitzes, or, you know, kind of trying to get aggressive and, you know, try to get downhill. And, you know, that's something we haven't really shown is like a middle screen or like a traditional screen pass to the running back. So anything we haven't shown, I think is going to be open. You know what I mean? Which, you know, there's a lot we haven't shown. So, you know, I think that's a great point. I would love to see something like that, especially with Sampson and Wright. I mean, those guys can both go. So.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, we got some dudes in that backfield. Bobby Pilgrim says, ever since y'all came on Talking Vols, I've been loving this channel. Newer listener, but I love the breakdowns. Keep grinding. Hey, appreciate that so much, Bobby. Yeah, man. So all those, you know, all these positive comments and things like that, like we really, really love that. And you know, thank y'all so much. Thank y'all for tuning in. And we're gonna do our best just to get to some more of these comments here, and we're gonna kind of like let y'all drive some of this show. So if y'all got any comments, things that y'all want to kind of get out there, I'm going to keep a close eye out on this chat. And, you know, I want to chime into what y'all have to say. That's the main thing about this channel. And, you know what? I'm trying to think, what do you think that Alabama is going to try to kick away from D? Because you had just brought him up. And I do think that I think that if they kick to him, I think that he'd have some success.
I do.
But I also think if they don't kick to him, it could work in our benefit. It could give us great field position. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Just them trying to stay away from it.
Yeah, man. We saw that against A&M. They were trying to keep it away from a nice Smith. Was it A&M? I think it was A&M. And like their first play of the game was like a 20-yard punt because he punted straight out of bounds. Yeah. and then I think later he had a big return because he was like, well, I don't want to punt out of bounds. So he ended up hanging it right to him. He had a big return. So I think, you know, we will get some opportunities to return it. But I mean, you'd be a fool to say I'm not going to kick it away from him. You know what I mean? Yeah, they're going to try, but we'll see if they can do it.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like Saban's one of those old school coaches where they're like, just kick the ball out of bounds. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Don't even kick it to him. Don't even give him a chance. Like that's the old school, right?
That's a smart way to play it.
Yeah, it is. It is. I mean, that's pretty much. I would do that. I wouldn't kick it to D at all. Not on kickoff or on punt return.
Yeah, I wouldn't kick to him either.
He is dynamic.
Now, I did see on kickoff against A&M. I mean, they did like almost like a pooch kick where they landed at like the 20-yard line or something like that, like 15-yard line. I mean, I don't know if the kicker has the strongest leg, but he may not be able to kick it out of the back of the end zone every time. So he may get a chance to do something on kickoff too.
Hey, that's something to watch out for sure. I know Vegas didn't take a look at that at all. Right. And so G. White, My man
G White. What's up, baby?
He said, I'm also curious to what we'll do today in the passing game. I think we'll pass the ball more today than last game. Yeah, I think that we're going to come out passing. I'm curious to see, do we want to take that football first or do we want to go on defense first? I always want to go on defense first. Me too. Me personally. But if we do come out on offense first, wouldn't it be something? Would it be something if we do like a Peyton Manning-esque, what was that? Yeah, that play number one. Yeah, play action on a post, which will be we can scheme a post open. I would love to see that happen. I've been seeing it.
Yeah, what I'm saying? I definitely think that's the call. I think we're play action, deep shot. Hopefully it works. But we know how our offense works. We're gonna give you whatever you give us. Mm-hmm. We're gonna take what you give us.
We're gonna take what you give us.
You want to put 6 in the box? Guess what? We're going right over top of you. You want to put 4 or 5 in the box? Guess what? We're gonna run right at your throat. So wherever they give us, we're gonna have it. But like you said, we're gonna have something designed, probably play action. I think to start the game.
Yeah. And I don't know if Heupel does that on the very first play, but he's gonna have something dialed up in that first drive for sure.
I think so.
Go into that end zone. He's gonna test it. And obviously Bama's gonna test our run offense. So that's going to be kind of like that power struggle. Obviously, it starts at that line of scrimmage. And then after that, you kind of get into the, play calling, that chess match between Heupel and Saban.
It's going to be fun.
Yeah, it's going to be a whole lot of fun. Something else, too, I was going to say, talking about, taking those shots. Saw last week, Joe Milton missing a couple of guys that were open, like underneath, right? I think he's got to do a really good job of trying to figure out what Bama is in pre-snap. And a lot of what they do is going to be dictated by how we line up, especially, again, if it's like a 3rd and long situation. They love that max zone crap, which, to me, every zone can kind of be similar to that. But the way that they play it, I just feel like it leaves so many opportunities for people to have busts in coverage, especially up against Tennessee's offense.
Yep.
So in those situations, we really need for Joe Milton to don't fall in love with whatever that deep shot is pre-snap, because you might kind of see it unfolding pre-snap or as the play is going. Make sure that it's there first, and see if some of those underneath reads. Obviously he's going to have his reads that he goes through, but don't just force it to somebody. Is basically what I'm trying to say. Like, you don't always have to go deep. There will be people open in other parts of the field. Let's take what they give us, right? And let's just try to continue to get positive yards. That's all I'm trying to say.
Yeah. Take what they give you. Be smart with the ball. Don't turn it over. Don't throw it to the other team. But I think we will attack their safeties as like we did last year. Obviously, they have a true freshman, Caleb Downs, who, he is the real deal, but he's a true freshman. So you think we'd be able to exploit that matchup. And listen to a lot of Bama fans, they don't like the other safety, number 6. Yeah, Keys his last name. They don't like him at all. He's kind of like our, I'm not going to say anybody's name, but he's a guy that they don't really like.
Yeah.
So we'll try to attack him as well. So I think we'll have a good, we'll have some plays where we're attacking those safeties. We'll get the matchup we want with those safeties and should be able to exploit it. I think throughout the game.
Yeah. So I'm just kind of going through some of these chats here. So. Is this Will Morris USA? He says short passes for Joe 10 yards or less, 10 yards and less, accuracy worse from 10 to 20 and worse from over 20 yards. Yeah, you know what? That is true. The only thing about that is that I know that Alabama's probably going to be sitting on that. I have a feeling that they're going to kind of be trying to sit on that. So we may have some openings deep early, but I do agree with you. We've got to be able to work the entire field. And obviously, Coach Heupel is going to, I know he's going to do a really good job of simplifying things for Joe. He's going to have a game plan that works well to Joe's skill set and what Joe is better at and more capable of doing. So I'm really excited just to see what Heupel wants to do and, what Saban's going to do. That's the biggest. I'm really excited about this chess match.
Yeah, it's a great chess match.
Yep, for sure. Let's get into some more of these chats. G says, if we come out and pass the ball well, we'll really put them in a nasty place defensively. Yeah,
yes.
Yeah, I don't see them having a lot of success trying to stop our running game. P, and you kind of talked about this earlier, unless they come out in a different front. We haven't really seen. Now, I have seen that in the red zone, Alabama does go to a 4-man front. I've seen that. So that could definitely be something to look out for. I mean, we're going to have to be good with like RPOs and things like that. The middle of Alabama's defense is there because they are so like run hungry. They're so hungry to try to get in on some hits, and you can really, show them something like put that ball out there and dump it right over somebody's head. We just got to make catches. Keaton.
That's great.
I think that the tight ends are going to have a really big day today. Definitely expecting for Jacob Warren and Castles to go out there and ball. I would love to see Ethan Davis in this game.
I would too. I doubt we will, but I would too. Not. But that's a great point you made about the red zone, because I do think it's obviously going to be hard. It's going to be hard to run the ball once you get into the red zone. And so maybe that's something Heupel's really been kind of working on. Part of his kind of scheming things up has been the red zone stuff.
Yeah.
Because he knows we're going to probably have to go to the air a little bit, or maybe, like we saw last year on that key, it's like a key 4th and 1 against these guys. We had that shovel pass to Princeton Fant. It was just beautiful. Henry Hooker ran that play so beautifully, but that like, I'm running outside, but then shovel it. Maybe some of those type of plays, but don't be surprised if you see some kind of red zone stuff schemed up.
I think that there's several things that Heupel's been kind of holding on to, and he's like, okay, I got this one. He's probably got about 20 or 30 plays in his pocket. You know what I'm saying? Just in case, some of those just in case plays, and he hasn't had to really pull them out yet. But he may have to in this game, or he may just do it just because. Honestly speaking, man, and I don't want to look past this game, and I'm not looking past this game. But when we win this game, only team left is UGA, and I mean we're gonna kill Georgia. I mean I can't wait for that. We're gonna blow them out. Yeah, I mean there really is nobody else. Yeah, and obviously we can't get lulled to sleep. Yeah, along the way, but I mean I'm not worried about them. So, and I'm sure the Heupel is neither. So if he's got 20, 30 plays, heck, let's pull out 5 or 6 of them.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, 5 or 6 touchdowns.
Yeah, Let's go ahead and pull them out real quick. Now, there was another one too. Okay, so Bobby Pilgrim, he says if they double up on Pierce, is that good? Is that good on bad? Or maybe he's trying to say is that good or bad? Can they even afford to isolate him? What do you think about that with Pierce? If they double him up, well, I think that's good for us.
Yeah, anytime you devote 2 guys to one guy, I mean that's obviously a win for us just from a numbers perspective. But I don't think they'll do it. I mean, I don't know. I mean, if they do, I think it'd be more so like a back or a tight end kind of staying in the help.
Have somebody in there to try to like chip them a little bit.
That's something that Heupel touched on. I think last game after post-game pressure was when you only have one guy to worry about on D-line, it's easier to scheme that up. But when you got multiple guys,
that's the
Barron,
thing. Yeah,
Omar Norman,
Big O.
Heck, I'll tell you, played great last week. We forgot to mention him, freaking Garland.
Yeah, Garland, he really stepped. I was really proud of him.
Bryson Eason,
and that just kind of goes to show you, man. Once you get one person and once it passes on to another person, and it just keeps touching everybody. Like everybody keeps getting it. Like, I want some of this. I want some of this. Yep. And I feel like the defensive success has really kind of like passed on to the offense as well too, and a lot of that really feels like it started once Cooper Mays came back. It just feels like everything started to get going so much, man. I'm super excited. About that. I can't wait. I can't wait.
I just hope they don't come out here and let us down. Just come out here and play Tennessee freaking football. You know what I mean? Don't blow it tonight.
Absolutely. So I like this one too. This is from John B. He says Keaton needs to step up. He was catching it all over the yard last year. If he can do it last year, he can do it this year. Too many balls have hit his hands and then drop. For sure. And you know what? Keaton is one of those guys that, I don't – it just seems like something might be going on with him because he has been very sure-handed. That's something that, I remember even seeing from him in high school. He's just one of those guys. So you have to think that he's going to get this thing back going.
I think so.
And I think that this is the game for that. Yep. And this is a game for the entire offense. So now, do you think that we try to work our do you think that we do a lot of similar like run stuff and then maybe work more, play action vertical game, or do you think that we we do a whole lot of that, getting it out wide on some like wide receiver screens type of a deal?
I think we'll do a decent amount of both. I think we will try to get out wide. I think that's part of who we are. Get it out quick, quick to the perimeter. See if somebody make a play. But I do think the play action deep shots also is because of how well we ran the ball. You have to figure Bama's going to kind of be keen on that. And so I do think the play action deep shots will be there. I think their safeties are aggressive in the run game. Like you said, the whole team's kind of chomping at the bit to get in on the run game. So the play action shots will be there. But I just think overall we should have the looks we want pretty much all over the field.
Yeah.
Just because of where we spread you out, the tempo, like it's a tough offense to stop. I think we're going to really put that on display tonight.
Absolutely. And so G just asks, is Omar Norman-Lott a go for today? As far as I know, he is. I kept on trying to see if I could find something, on like injury status for the entire team. But the only thing that I saw that came out today just pretty much said that we've got everybody. It was just talking about Brew being out. I don't know how accurate that whole thing, but I feel like everyone's going to be back.
Hope so.
And we talked about this earlier today too. Felt like it would be kind of a bigger deal if Mincy can't go today, but it sounds like, and if y'all know more about this, please let us know down in the comment section. I'm actually about to try to look this up again. But yeah, I mean, obviously having Mincy playing is going to be big because, like we said, we feel like we've got some depth there with Dane Davis. And honestly speaking, I don't really want to see Crawford out there because he just has not looked good this season. So let me take a look and see if I can find the injury before.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully Mincy can go. I think definitely we'll need to have as many guys available as possible. But definitely want to see Omar Norman-Lott on the D-line. I think we missed him last week. Even though we did do a great job on defense, I mean, he's a guy. He came in and he's been a great surprise for us. Just the quick twitch that he gives you on the interior. I mean, it's tough to handle that when you got that. You got Tyler Barron coming off the edge. You got James Pierce coming off the edge. And hopefully Joshua Josephs can come in here and give us something today. Haven't really seen a ton from him today, but, I think this defense will show up, man. We've seen Elijah Herring has grown tremendously throughout the season. Jeremiah Thielander has grown tremendously throughout the season. So I like what the backers are doing. I think they're really giving us more kind of just overall in the run game and the pass game, picking up those crossing routes, not getting fooled so easily by play action or misdirection. And something that I've noticed is they're doing a better job of reading the pulling linemen. Whenever you see those guys pulling around, you pretty much go ahead and you know where to go. Yeah. And I'm seeing Elijah Herring pick that up way faster. Thielander, he always plays fast. So, sure. I like what we're getting from that second level of the defense. I just feel like this is a good matchup for us. I really think we have a chance to go out here and put on a show tonight. Yeah, I do too. So I wasn't able to find anything else, any more updates, as far as injuries, really. So sounds like everybody should be good to go. And I mean, they might try to release it maybe about how much time do they have? I felt like they had to release it by a certain time. I don't know. I have no idea. At a 3:30 game. I know it can't be like an hour before kickoff. I have no idea. Maybe it is. I have no idea. Okay, it's somewhere in that ballpark. But I mean, I'm feeling great. Let me just ask y'all real quick. How do y'all feel? Let us know inside of the chat how y'all feel about this game. Are y'all nervous? I'm trying to read as many chats as I can. A whole bunch of them just came in here real quick. It's hard to keep up with it, but do y'all feel nervous about this game? Do y'all think Tennessee can handle it? Run game going to be special like it has been? Is the passing game going to pick up? What do y'all think about Tennessee's defense? That's something else too. I kind of feel like as much as the defense is being talked about, I kind of feel like people are kind of saying that Alabama's defense is better. They're definitely saying that their offense is better for whatever reason. I don't understand. Yeah, I don't get it. I mean, it feels like it's almost a mirror of each other's offense, except we've got a better offensive line. We've got a much better running game. And the quarterbacks can kind of be like a push, but it's like it feels like Milroe's better at that deep pass. And Joe Milton has been better at the short to intermediate types of passes. Yeah, I mean, I think the similarities between these two teams is crazy. But I mean, I think probably the reason why people are hyping them up is because it's Bama. Yeah, and all the 5 stars. They got a ton of 5 stars over there. But an interesting point you brought up, and I think we talked about this with Coach with Sports Talk Jay the other day on his live. Is talk about Anthony Richardson and how his ability to throw a deep ball, his ability to run, made him a top 4 pick. So, I mean, why do you think Milroe's not getting that same type of hype? I mean, they're very similar. I know Milroe's not as big as Anthony Richardson. I don't think he is. But, I mean, he's I think they are. Yeah, he's I think they are very close to size. He's like 6'4", 230. Is he 6'4"? Okay, I thought it was a little short. I thought it was like 6'2". It might be. Yeah, I don't know. I'm pretty sure. Let me just look it up real quick. Because, I mean, they're very similar, that they haven't been impressive statistically passing. You know what? You are right. Yeah, it says he's 6'2", 220. Yeah, so that must be what it is. That must be what it is.
Yeah,
because Richardson was like 6'4.5".
Damn, man, look, I'm
40.
Man, look, if he's only 6'2", 220,
we line him up.
This whole time I was thinking he was like 6'4", 6'5", 230. I was like, damn, man, it's gonna be hard for us to tackle him.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he's gonna get lit up for sure.
Line him up.
Hey, man, look, Jeremiah T-Lander, you better watch out for. Hey, look, I'm just gonna tell you, Milroe, if you see number 22 in the game, do not try to scramble because he's gonna try to
get down.
He's headhunting. I can promise you, he's coming to see about you.
Yes.
Oh yeah. Oh, well, that makes me feel way better. Yeah, hey, I had no idea he was that little.
Hey, he's fast. He's dynamic. Yeah, but I mean,
he is fast.
We're gonna be getting downhill on these guys.
Oh man. Oh yeah.
So it might get ugly for him.
Oh yeah. This one could really, because you know what else I was thinking? I was like, dang, he's gonna be hard for us to tackle too. But even just watching film, it was like, okay, well, these guys are tackling him pretty good. Yeah. Maybe he's just not that strong or something. Mm-hmm. But he's only, I'm saying only, that's still a pretty solid size. But that's just like average quarterback size.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So, I mean, he's still a guy that's going to be tough to bring down, but I think that pulled hammy plays into it too.
Yeah. Because
I have noticed that. And when you said that, made me say, okay.
A little bit empty.
Yeah, he hasn't been as runny, as mobile as you would expect him to be. And something else I've noticed about him is he's, I don't know if you want to call it, seeing ghosts, but he'll escape the pocket when he doesn't have to.
Oh yeah, yeah. He's definitely one of those.
He's
gonna definitely see ghosts. Slim says that Roman Harper said Tennessee defense looks small compared to Alabama. LOL. Yeah, that's hilarious. We're gonna see him out there on the field today.
We'll see.
And you know what? Maybe because Alabama's offensive line is so big. I mean, they are probably a little bit too heavy though. We talked about that earlier. 350 across the board, and that's your average. So some guys are higher than that.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what they was thinking with that, but that is entirely too big.
Can't move.
I mean, that's way too.
Can't move.
We're gonna have a field day.
We're gonna be. We might get double-digit sacks.
Yeah, we're gonna have a field day with it.
If y'all have the guts to drop back and throw it.
Hey, Sports Talk Jay, what's going on, brother?
What's up, baby?
He says, look for some serious pressure on Milroe. Cautiously optimistic over here. Absolutely love that, Sports Talk Jay. Hey, look, we are definitely going to be able to get. I'm feeling a lot better about it now. I mean, that changes everything for me. Yeah. That changes the whole deal, especially, you talking about this being a smaller guy with a pulled hammy. I mean, what are they going to do? Like, what do you think? Like, who do you think you're playing up against? I mean, they're going to have their entire offensive scheme is going to have to be so predictable. It's going to be, hey, they're running it here. Stack the box. Okay. Hey, stack it. And then if they try to throw it, just keep on coming anyway. Like, let's just go get them. Yeah. Okay. What else are you going to do? Screens? Yeah, I mean, half the people in there to drag them. Yeah, I mean, dude, we about to go eat.
Yeah, we are. We got to play that deep ball. They're gonna throw it up. We got to play that. We'll be fine.
I'm very excited about it. Let's see what else we got up in here. Let's see. Just hope the refs don't screw us. Okay, so that is a really good point, JL. Obviously, going down to Tuscaloosa, and this is even something that Pruitt talked about, didn't he? You talked about that. I thought, was it? Was it going down to Alabama, or was he talking about going to Georgia?
Probably both.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you always have to watch, even if you're playing at home with Alabama, especially like whenever they were good. The SEC refs really did used to cheat for them for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, they would make sure that they got into the playoffs. So, like whatever, or that there was that team that could go to the championship. So the SEC had a championship.
And, I'll say this too. Yeah. We've been getting hosed all season, honestly. Like,
man, it's been outrageous.
Defensive pass interferences that are going uncalled, whether it's offensive holdings that are going uncalled. Like, we've been getting hosed all season long.
Yeah. So I mean our defensive line is, and they get held on every play anyway, but it's been egregious. Some of those holds, it's been ridiculous.
Like, the guy's about to make the play and he's clearly getting held.
Yeah, and he gets jerked back like this. That, I mean, you have to call that.
Yeah.
So hopefully they will be better today. But that was one of my keys to the game for this team is we can't even look for those penalties.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like those players can't. Now the coaches are going to have to be on the spot. Like, they're going to have to let those referees know, hey, y'all got to call this. Like, let them know early. We're not just going to let y'all not make these calls on us. They're not going to cheat us out of this game because they will try to do it down there. I can promise you that. Let's see here. Christopher Welch says if they shut down Pierce, it's fine. We still have Josephs and several others that can take advantage of it. I absolutely agree. And like we were kind of talking about earlier too, man, we don't just bring that 4-man pressure with just our front.
Right.
Linebackers are going to come. Aaron Beasley is going to be I think that we're going to blitz him a lot in this game because he does have that speed to be able to get after, Bama's quarterback. I think he's got that speed, and he's a great blitzer. He times it up really well. And, I just think that it's going to be so difficult for an offensive line that already has not been gelling. If you're getting physically pushed around and then you're getting out-schemed, it's like you just got waves of people coming. It's going to seem like, you talked about Milroe seeing ghosts. Well, the offensive line can start to see ghosts too. You're getting pushed back and you're seeing flashes of orange going by. Your quarterback's going down. We're celebrating. Then you come back up to the line. Okay, look, they got two coming over here. These guys are coming. Oh, step outside. It's a stunt back to the inside. I mean, that's what they're going to be living like. That offensive front for Bama. I'm telling you, we are about to eat. I'm really excited, man.
We should. We definitely should.
I'm juiced up.
I am too. I've been ready for this game all week long. You know what I mean? Like I'm ready for this game. I will say that their backs do a good job picking up pressures.
They do,
but
tight ends do too.
Tight ends, okay, but heck, we're gonna run right over top of those guys. Get to the quarterback. So I'm not worried about that.
Absolutely. Let me get to my guy Tristan here. What's going on, Tristan? So Tristan says we will win as long as Joe throws for around 200 and no interceptions. And our run game stays on pace with yardage, and our defense is on Milroe every single play, like was with Johnson. I agree with that for sure, man. And we're just kind of talking about that, but I think that we are going to have a field day on defense. I feel like most of the stress for Alabama is definitely going to be on their offense to produce some points, and if we can just continue to get after them, early and often. It's going to turn into an absolute nightmare for that offensive coordinator and for that entire team. So I'm looking forward to that. And then, on the flip side, I know that we'll be able to take, we'll be able to kind of dictate what we want to do up against Alabama, because I know that we'll be able to establish that running game early. And that's going to be really critical. As we said, obviously, pre-snap penalties are going to be really critical. But, I'm ready to go ahead and get tuned in, man. I'm about to go ahead and just start getting my mind right and ready for this game. But we will be back, okay? We will be back post-game, and we'll be talking about everything to do with these Tennessee Volunteers and how this game looks. Heck, we might be back at halftime if everything goes as well as we think it will. And, definitely appreciate everybody for rocking with us. I hope that everybody feels good about this one going into it, man. And Pete, do you have any closing thoughts before we come?
No, man. Let's go out here and get us another one, man. These guys, they ain't give us no chance. Coming into it, I'll put it on you. We're going. Here's the thing. No one's been talking about this team all season. Oh, wait,
I'm sorry. You know what? I did forget something. We need to get to these picks. Did you want to do picks real quick?
Oh, sure. Yeah, let's go.
Okay. All right. So hold on. So we're gonna get to these picks real quick. Sorry about that, y'all. I completely forgot. I'm so fired up. I'm ready just to go ahead and go play.
Right, on one game that matters today.
I know it. I don't care about none of these other ones. Okay. I'm just gonna keep it real. It don't matter. All right. So right here, we've got at 3:30. It is Mizzou versus South Carolina. The game is at Missouri, and Missouri's favored by 7.5 points. The over/under is 58. P, who do you got in this one?
It wouldn't surprise me to see Mizzou drop the ball here. Just because I know they're known for dropping the daggone ball. But, I think South Carolina's in a bad place. Head coach just broke his daggone foot, whatever he did. I mean, he's over here blaming the players. I think the locker room will have issues. I got Mizzou in this one. I think they'll probably cover. 7.5. I don't have a score prediction, but I got Mizzou. I don't know, probably 32 to, 24, something like that.
All right. So, you know what? I've actually got South Carolina in this one. Excuse me. So I think that South Carolina is actually going to bounce back. Mizzou is the better team, and it's in Missouri. But, that stadium, there's no real, home field there. So, I see South Carolina coming out and winning this one and just kind of making the East a little bit more shaky. Now, the next one, actually, our nephew, Bray, he is at this game. This is his second visit, and he is in 8th grade. So he's going to be at this one. And this one is Auburn versus Ole Miss. The game is at 7:00. It's at Auburn. Auburn. This is actually this is wrong right here. Ole Miss is favored by 6.5 in this one, if I'm not mistaken. And the over/under is 55.5. Yeah, I would be surprised if Auburn is favored by 6.5 in this one. So Ole Miss.
I definitely got Ole Miss in this one. I know a lot of people are picking Auburn for this one because Lane's known for dropping the ball as well. But Auburn, they just haven't shown the ability to be able to score points. So I mean, I got Auburn, Ole Miss in this one, and I like the under on this one as well.
Okay, yeah. I would say that this is a game that Ole Miss should win, but you know what? Coach Freeze is good at winning games that he shouldn't win, and it seems like he's good for 1 or 2 of those every season.
Yeah.
And I mean, you know, I actually like old Coach Freeze, so I'm just gonna pick him in this one pretty much just from that perspective. But I'm gonna make this one a close one. I'm gonna say Auburn sneaks it out. We're gonna call it 24-23. I got Auburn winning by 1 point at home.
Nice.
All right, so now this next one right here, this is an out-of-conference ball game. It's Duke versus Florida State, 7:30 at Florida State, and they are favored by 14 points. The over-under is 49.5. What you got?
Well, they just announced that Duke's quarterback is going to be out for this one, so
okay.
I definitely got Florida State in this one. I think that the Florida State will probably cover as well. I kind of like the under on this one just because I know Duke plays good defense. They don't have the quarterback. So I don't know. I think I'm going Florida State. We'll call it 28 to 10.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm going with the under on this one.
All right, hey y'all. Sorry that was backwards. I just now realized that. I apologize about that. Yeah, I've got Florida State winning this one. You know, obviously, if Duke's quarterback is out, it's going to be almost impossible for them to win. I am hoping that at some point Florida State loses somewhere because it's getting it's going to be tough for the SEC to get in with everybody having at least one loss, because I'm fully expecting for us to, for us to be in that conversation. So we need for the ACC to have somebody lose a ball game, but I don't think that this is it. I'm going to pick Duke to lose pretty badly by what the over-under is 14. I'm going to pick Duke to lose by 21, and I'm not going to put a complete total score out there, but I've got Duke getting pretty much drugged in this game. So let's go on to the next. We've got USC versus Utah. The game is at USC, and USC's favored by 7. Over under is 52. What you got on this one? Let's try to make it.
This is an interesting matchup. Man, it's a tough call. USC struggled with Notre Dame last week.
Yeah.
Utah plays good defense, physical team. But I'm gonna go USC bounce back this week. I'm gonna call this one 35 to 28. USC by one score.
28.
Yeah.
All right. I actually kind of like that. With USC being at home, I think that they can have some success. They actually didn't look as well. I only saw most of the highlights up against Notre Dame last week for USC. I don't know. Yeah, I think that this one's going to be really close. I mean, I could very easily see Utah winning this one, but I've got to pick USC since they are at home. But I've only got USC winning this one by 3 points. I'm going to call it. Let's call it 42 to 39. All right. So now, for the one that we've all been waiting for, the one that everyone showed up here for, I've already did my score on this one. So, yeah, I'm going to let you handle this one, P. Obviously, we all know about this one. It's Alabama versus Tennessee. The game is in Tuscaloosa at 3:30. Bama's favored by 9. Over under is 47.5. P, take it away.
Man, this is obviously the biggest game of the day. They got us, -9 against these guys, or they got Bama -9 against us. I mean, disrespectful to the utmost degree, but we're going to go down to Tuscaloosa. I think we find a way to get it going offensively. Joe Milton hits the passes he needs, and I think we run for over 200 yards on these guys. I think our defense shows up. They don't have much success offensively against us. I got the Vols putting up 31, maybe 30. We'll call it 34. I'm going to call it 34 to 17. Vols win. Vols cover, and I'm betting the over on this one.
Love it. Love it, love it, love it. It all sounds good. Okay, so now let's
go Vols, baby.
Yes, sir. You already know. Okay, so all that being said, now game show, and thank y'all for tuning in to the tailgate. We're going to have a big game, positive thoughts, positive energy for anybody who is at the game. Get the crowd as loud as you can with the volunteer fans. And y'all be safe out there. Have a great time. And we will see y'all after the show. Thanks.
Go Vols, baby.
Peace.
That's nice. Nacho. let them go. That's all that. Oh, you.